Cletus McFarland just got blocked from racing at Talladega in the O'Reilly series. You would think that would slow him down, right? Instead, within days, he landed one of the biggest deals of his entire career through his biggest event of the year at the Freedom Factory and announced he is expanding his racing operation in a direction nobody saw coming. The man does not stop. But before we get too far, one thing needs to be cleared up right away. The Polaris partnership was announced publicly, but neither side has confirmed an exact dollar figure. So when you hear people throwing around numbers online, just know that is speculation, not a confirmed amount. Cletus has been sitting right in the middle of one of the hottest debates in NASCAR. He got denied approval to race the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series event at Talladega on April 25th. At the same time, his name has never been bigger. He ran fourth in the ARCA East race at Rockingham. Then he finished 32nd in his O'Reilly debut after a chaotic day, but still brought the car home. And right after that Rockingham weekend, instead of backing off, he went full gas in every other direction. He signed the Polaris deal. He ran the Freedom 500 at the Freedom Factory to a sold-out crowd. He announced he is adding a pro late model division to his Crown Vic events. And then NASCAR's own president got on a podcast and talked about him by name. Millions. For anyone who somehow still doesn't know the name, Cletus McFarland, real name Garrett Mitchell, is a YouTube motorsports creator who built a massive audience around horsepower, chaos, burnout culture, Freedom Factory events, and pure gearhead content. By April 2026, he had more than 4.6 million YouTube subscribers. That reach is exactly why NASCAR, Richard Childress Racing, and now Polaris all want a piece of what he has built. So let's get into the Talladega situation first, because this is where things really heat up. NASCAR looked at his Rockingham performance and decided they needed to see more progress before letting him race a superspeedway in the O'Reilly series. John Probst made it clear that McFarland is approved for ARCA, all truck series races, and O'Reilly short tracks, but not O'Reilly superspeedways yet. And then Steve O'Donnell, the president of NASCAR, went on the Door Bumper Clear podcast and addressed it directly. He said it is kind of every race. He said they go to the next race and see if there is progression they need to see. He said Cletus is a hugely popular driver, but these are the best drivers in the world, and they have to make sure they have the right guys out there. And then he added something that tells you exactly how NASCAR really feels about this situation. He said they love Cletus. He said their R&D team watches his videos. He said they love what he has done for the sport. That is the official line. Malinger. But here is why fans will not let this debate die. Every single week, you can watch established NASCAR drivers spin, crash, miss pit road, misjudge corners, and wreck each other. Cletus gets one rough day, and suddenly he is being held back from the next step at Rockingham. Yes, he was loose a few times. Yes, he finished 6 laps down, but he also 6 laps down. But he also completed the race. He did not destroy anyone. And earlier that same day, he finished 4th in the ARCA East event. That is not nothing. And the numbers back up what his presence does for the sport. The Rockingham O'Reilly race on the CW pulled 1.165 million viewers. That was up 12% in rating and 11% in audience compared to the same event a year earlier. Cletus did not cause all of that alone, but he is clearly a major part of the wave. Now, let's talk about the Polaris deal, because this is the part of the story that gets overlooked when people are busy arguing about Talladega. On April 7th, Polaris officially announced their multi-year partnership with Cletus and his entire motorsports community. Reed Wilson, the president of Polaris Off-Road Vehicles, said they could not just watch from the outside and had to be part of it. He said Cletus brings energy, passion, and authenticity that reflects what American motorsports is all about. And Cletus responded the way Cletus always responds. He said he built his community around freedom, horsepower, and having a good time, and that Polaris fits that perfectly. He said, "Hell yeah, brother. Let's introduce more people to power sports. This is not just a race sponsorship. It is way bigger than slapping a logo on a fire suit or putting a sticker on the side of a car." The official announcement said that from his operations, content, and experiences at the Freedom Factory, Cletus will be powered by Polaris. Their own language makes it clear this is a full ecosystem partnership. They are talking about operations, content, experiences, Freedom Factory activations, and new ways for fans to be part of the action. Cletus revealed the partnership with a video on YouTube where he surprised the entire Freedom Factory crew with a brand new fleet of Polaris off-road vehicles. The Crown Vic fire crew got a Ranger XP 1000 four-seater for debris cleanup. The grounds crew got a specialized Ranger XP 1000 for landscaping. Track management got a Ranger XD 1500 extreme duty as a mobile office. Track prep expert Wade got a new Ranger XP 1000 to replace his decade-old unit. That is not a press release. That is a company physically changing the infrastructure of how the Freedom Factory runs on day one of the deal. From a business angle, you can see exactly why Polaris wanted this. Cletus already has the audience. He already has the facilities. He already has a culture that people do not just watch, they follow. Polaris is not paying for random exposure. They are plugging into a built-in fan base that shows up for the Freedom 500, Crown Vic Chaos, drag events, shop content, track life, and now sanctioned racing, too. They are backing an entire ecosystem, not just one person, And speaking of the Freedom 500, that happened the same weekend as Bristol, April 10th at the Freedom Factory in Bradenton, Florida. Sold-out crowd, 26 drivers including Travis Pastrana, Kenny Wallace, and a full field of NASCAR veterans and content creators racing Crown Victorious for 500 laps. Pastrana came back as defending champion. Cletus himself had his night end early with mechanical issues after a wreck, which is exactly the kind of chaos that makes that event what it is. The Dagan family took the win. But the point is that while NASCAR was debating whether to let Cletus race at Talladega, he was running his own packed event at his own track for a sold-out crowd. The operation never slows down, And then there is the expansion news that even hardcore followers have not fully processed yet. Cletus told Short Track Scene that he bought a straight rail late model from Port City Race. Cars and plans to add a pro late model division to his Crown Vic race events. He said he wants to start his own little late model series that travels with the Crown Vics. They do about 6 events a year. So he wants to build that series into the card alongside the Crown Vics. So this is not some random side project. He is building a layered motorsports business made up of content, facilities, events, grassroots racing, off-road experiences, and eventually bigger sanctioned racing opportunities. That is the part a lot of people are missing. The setback at Talladega in the O'Reilly series is just one lane of a much wider operation that is accelerating in every other direction simultaneously. Steve O'Donnell says, progression is what they need to see race by race. John Probst says they are not saying no forever. Richard Childress has already praised the broader value Cletus brings to the sport, and now one of the biggest names in power sports has built a multi-year partnership around his entire world. Usually when a driver gets denied for a race, the story gets smaller. With Cletus, the opposite keeps happening, and that is what makes this whole thing so impossible to look away from. So here is the bottom line. Cletus McFarland came into NASCAR as a YouTuber, and everybody had an opinion about whether he belonged. The garage laughed. Some veterans took shots. The critics lined up. And while all of that was happening, he quietly kept racing, kept building, kept signing deals, and kept growing an operation that most full-time NASCAR drivers could not put together in a decade. The Talladega door in the O'Reilly series is not closed. It is just not open yet. And if the last few months have shown us anything, it is that closed doors have never once slowed this man down. If you are not subscribed yet, hit that button right now because this story is nowhere near over.